For myself, I have only one desire, the desire for solitude. To disappear into God, to be submerged in her peace, to be lost in the beauty of God's face, to be lost in the beauty of your face. Welcome everybody to Chants and Prayers. That was a little sung version of words by Thomas Merton. Today is our Visio Divina episode, and we're going to explore Merton's spirituality through the incredible gift that is the living legend of James Finley. More about him later. But first, I want to welcome you. Whatever your faith tradition is or is not, you are especially welcome here. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, we pray using videos. It's an adaptation of a really old monastic contemplative practice called sacred reading, or in Latin, Lectio Divina. So this is our Visio Divina, sacred video or sacred looking. I would like to acknowledge that I am on Abenaki land, my home here that you're seeing. That's my piano, and the trees changing outside is actually colonized land. It's rightly Abenaki land, and I really benefit from inheriting their living legacy of depth of connection, and there's injustice still waiting to be attended to. I just want to acknowledge that as we open sacred space. Now, I'm distracting myself because I was about to sing a prayer, but actually I want to speak a prayer. I want to speak this beautiful prayer by Thomas Merton. Thomas Merton died in the 1960s. He was one of the leading spiritual mystical lights that he was very inspired by all sorts of mystical things, including the Celtic monastic tradition that I am so steeped in. So Merton really speaks to my Iona-infused heart. And these are his words. My Lord God, I have no idea where I'm going. I do not see the road ahead of me. I cannot know for certain where it will end. Nor do I really know myself. And the fact that I think I am following your will does not mean that I'm actually doing so. But I believe that the desire to please you does in fact please you. And I hope that I have that desire in all that I'm doing. I hope that I will never do anything apart from that desire. And I know that if I do this, you will lead me by the right road, though I may know nothing about it. Therefore, I trust you always, though I may seem to be lost and in the shadow of death. I will not fear, for you are ever with me, and you will never leave me to face my perils alone. All right, before we jump into the videos, let's center into this live stream with song. Let's attune to each other's hearts. We've got 21 of us here live right now, which is a really wonderful number of people from all over the world. We've got the UK, we've got Canada, I think we've definitely got North America, US, and we'll use this beautiful chant song by Over the Rhine. Sometimes people think I wrote this. I didn't, I adopted it. But let's center in song. I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love. I'm gonna learn to love without fear. I'll give you that again. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love. I'm gonna learn to love without fear. So pour me a glass of wine. We'll talk deep into the night. Who knows what we'll find? Intuition, deja vu, the Holy Ghost haunting you. Whatever you got, I don't mind. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love. I'm gonna learn to love without fear. I put my elbows on the table, then I'll listen long as I am able. There's nowhere I'd rather be. Secret fears are supernatural. Thank God for this new laughter. Thank God the joke's on me. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love. I'm gonna learn to love without fear. One more time. 'Cause I was born to laugh. I learned to laugh through my tears. And I was born to love. I'm gonna learn to love without fear. We have chose that beautiful song Born as our centering song today because both James Finley and Thomas Merton embody the wisdom of the wounded healer. They both had horrifically painful childhoods and were able to find a way through their faith. And I would say through with James Finley through his learning about therapy, and then he met this wonderful woman called Maureen, and their relationship, and also him as a father. He had a failed marriage too. I'm sure that brought out his humanity. But Merton in the monastery, and James Finley, who was only in the monastery with Merton for I think 6 years, together they found a way of integrating incredible loss and pain that they went through in their childhood. And it's no surprise to me that Merton's teachings landed straight in 18-year-old James Finley. I've got a lot of Merton's lectures. In one of them, he's talking to some nuns. It's really lovely. He speaks to them on a much more deep level than he does the novices, and most of the other audio recordings we have are of him speaking to the novices. And he talks about one of his favorite young monks that suddenly leaves the monastery. And I always wonder in this lecture if he's talking about James Finley. I like to think that anyway. Okay, so how we're going to do that, in case you're new here, I have taken three little sections from a 16-minute video, which is itself part of a 4-part video series. So we're going to get little snippets of James Finley talking. He's being interviewed by Travis, who is the video maker from an organization called The Work of the People. And we are going to listen very deeply to the video. We'll have silence afterwards just to let it sit in our heart. Then I will sing a chant that I think is relevant. You might not. And I'll bring up the chat on the screen and you can type your comments. I'd love to hear what's resonating for you and what you're noticing. And please know that you don't have to agree with the videos. You don't have to have the same theology. It's about what stirs in your heart. And sometimes there's a defiant no. We're like, no, I don't believe that. So I'll of course, nobody here is disrespectful, but I don't want you to think that you have to think this is wonderful just because I do. It's about letting it speak to you. Sometimes when we encounter things that are different than us, it really can reinforce what we do know, what we do know. Yeah, it's one of the gifts of being an interfaith person is that sometimes I meet spiritual practices that don't come alive in me, and that shows me what does. All right, been prattling on for a while. Here is James Finley talking about his childhood, so just want you to be aware that he mentions the trauma of his childhood home, but he's talking about how this opens him to the holy.
Who's God to you?
And so for me, what it was, and I put this in the memoir, my memoir, is that there was a lot of violence in my home, a violent alcoholic father. And my mother was a devout Catholic. And a lot of their argument was over Catholicism and religion and so on. So when she would take us to Mass, she would tell us to pray to God to give us the strength to get through the things that happen when Daddy gets mad. That's how she put it. So one night, maybe I was 3, maybe 4, and I was lying in the dark. I could hear my father screaming at my mother outside the door. And I prayed the way frightened children pray. And to me, in my sense, is that God heard my prayer, came to me in the night, and in a moment that I can't remember, merged with me. So that when I woke up in the morning, the trauma still went on, but it was different. Because when I went outside the door, when my father thought he was hitting me, he didn't know that I was taken by God into a secret place inside of God that he didn't know about it. Later, when I became a psychologist, I realized that I was borrowing the religious imagery of my mother to give meaning to dissociating. I dissociated. But I also came to realize the fact that I was dissociating does not mean that God did not merge with me. And so my understandings of God start from those very early experiences. When I made my first communion, 7 years old, second grade, and I'd go with my mother and receive the host. So that I thought it was Jesus. And then when you put the kneeler down, I would kneel down. And I'd bury my face in my hands, and I'd hold real still. And because in my mind, because I was inside the church, I was inside of God, and I just received the Eucharist, I was inside of God who was inside of me, and I'd hold real still, like the gate of heaven. And so moments like that were very real to me. So then when I was in the 9th grade, and I first heard about monasteries in this Catholic high school I was going to, I immediately paired up. Monasteries are places where people go to live in this secret place inside of God. And when I read Thomas
That's where you go to merge.
yeah, that's you go to merge, or you go to intimately realize you're unexplainably merged this way. And so this 9th grade religion teacher talked about monasteries and Thomas Merton. So I went to the high school library that night and that day, and he just had one book there by Thomas Merton, The Sign of Jonas, which is a journal he kept in the monastery. And on the very first page, he said, "As for me, I have but one desire, the desire for solitude, to disappear into the secret of God's face." And I didn't know what that meant, but something in me did. I think the depth from which he expressed his sincere longing for God awakened that depth in me. And so for the next 4 years, I read that book over and over. And I felt called to go to the monastery when I graduated. So I went to the monastery, lived there for 6 years. And so God for me is that.
Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. When I call, answer me. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. Come and listen, be near. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. When I call, come be near. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. Come and listen, be near. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. When we call, come be near. O Lord, hear our prayer. O Lord, hear our prayer. Come and listen, be near. O Lord, hear our prayer. O Lord, hear our prayer. When we call, come be near. O Lord, hear our prayer. O Lord, hear our prayer. Come and listen, be here. Come now, child, lay it down. Just breathe, just be. Come be cradled in the arms of love. Just breathe, just be. Come now, child, lay it down. Just breathe, just be. Come be cradled in the arms of love. Just breathe, just be. Come now, child, lay it down. Just breathe, just be. Come be cradled in the arms of love. Just breathe, just be. Couple of months ago, on a very hot summer's Sunday, I was preaching for the local Unitarian church. And one of my patrons, a woman called Jill, came up to me afterwards, and they were having a potluck. And she said, "You just make all this stuff up, don't you?" And I said, yeah, I do, and drove off. And I delighted in that. I don't know how she took my answer, but I was thinking about how any view that we have is not remotely big enough to explain the mystery. But can we use our beautiful, thoughtful, penetrating minds to link what we see in the world around us and what we've gained, what we've gleaned, I would say, what we've gleaned from the religious traditions, and marry that with our lived experience? And that's kind of what I'm hearing James Finley doing. We're going to go from this beautiful story about his childhood faith that protected him, and then hear a little bit of how he integrated some of these really abstract philosophy concepts that he was learning from Thomas Merton, who is his spiritual director, but also his novice master.
When I went to the monastery, I was so to be with Merton live, sitting there. I thought I saw him as a living saint. Anyway, he affected me just to be with him, to guide me. It was It was stunning, really. I was 18 years old. And one of the very first talks he was talking about creation. And this is like the contemplative lineage of creation. He said, the opening words of Torah, or the opening words of Genesis, in the beginning, God said. So in the beginning, let there be light, let there be stones and trees and stars and all of this. He says it's real helpful to realize that God just didn't set everything in motion, then go off to let the world get by on its own as best it could. He said creation is going on all the time. Creation is absolute and perpetual. We're being created right now. And so the mystery of creation, here's how I put it poetically, this way. Ultimately speaking, just one thing is happening. The infinite presence of God is presencing itself. That is, it's pouring itself out and giving itself away in and as the gift and the miracle of the immediacy of our very presence, the presence of others in all things, in our communal nothingness without God. And the mystical awakening is the awakening of that.
Of nothingness?
Yeah, it's the it's the nothingness of anything other than the infinity that's giving itself to us in our nothingness. This way, like a perpetual self-donation. Like God, Meister Eckhart puts it this way. He says he said, what is the joy that death does not have the power to destroy, and how might I discover it? And the joy is the joy of being awakened to God as this infinite presence. He said, if we think of God as generosity, the generosity of the infinite is infinite, and we are the generosity of God. We're the song that God sings. See? And the thing is, there is the consciousness, we don't see this. In these moments that I'm speaking of, we get a little flash. In a deep meditative state, you can be drawn to be ever more habitually abiding in the oneness that alone is ultimately real. This way.
I'm going to interrupt the silence here because I know that some of you may never have heard James Finley talk before, and it's a bit overwhelming. It's so intense what he's saying, and so abstract and beautiful. So let's watch it again, then we'll have another little silence, and then I'll display your comments and we'll sing a chant.
When I went to the monastery, I was so to be with Merton live, sitting there. I thought I saw him as a living saint. Anyway, he so affected me just to be with him, to guide me. It was stunning, really. I was 18 years old. And one of the very first talks he was talking about creation. And this is like the contemplative lineage of creation. He said, the opening words of Torah, or the opening words of Genesis, in the beginning, God said. So in the beginning, let there be light, let there be stones and trees and stars and all of this. He says it's real helpful to realize that God just didn't set everything in motion, then go off to let the world get by on its own as best it could. He said creation is going on all the time. Creation is absolute and perpetual. We're being created right now. And so the mystery of creation, here's how I put it poetically, this way. Ultimately speaking, just one thing is happening. The infinite presence of God is presencing itself. That is, it's pouring itself out and giving itself away in and as the gift and the miracle of the immediacy of our very presence, the presence of others in all things, in our communal nothingness without God. And the mystical awakening is the awakening of that.
Of nothingness?
Yeah, it's the it's the nothingness of anything other than the infinity that's giving itself to us in our nothingness. This way, like a perpetual self-donation. Like God, Meister Eckhart puts it this way. He says he said, what is the joy that death does not have the power to destroy, and how might I discover it? And the joy is the joy of being awakened to God as its infinite presence. He said, if we think of God as generosity, the generosity of the infinite is infinite, and we are the generosity of God. We're the song that God sings. See? And the thing is, there is the consciousness. We don't see this. In these moments that I'm speaking of, we get a little flash. See? In a deep meditative state, you can be drawn to be ever more habitually abiding in the oneness that alone is ultimately real. See?
The oceans roar, you are the Lord of all, the one who calms the wind, makes my heart be still. The earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage. God holds it all, God holds it all. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be still and know that I am love. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be. Let me read some of these. Though I may seem lost, I will not fear. I am not my fear. How to disappear, rest from all fear. Merging with God. Creation is absolute and perpetual. Amazing to let ourselves breathe in this reality. We are the generosity of God, the song that God sings. Yes, James Finley is a poet. God has infinite generosity. We are the song that God sings. Like Julian of Norwich's hazelnut, it would not exist unless God was continually holding it into being. Yeah, he goes on and talks about that more in the full video, not Julian of Norwich, but he talks about how if God didn't love it, we'd all snuff out in a second, which, yeah, it's very Julian of Norwich. Yeah, got one more video for us. There's a teaching that James Finley gives to try and help see what he is seeing. He says, you want to listen to the mystics as if you're listening to music. I love that because we don't grasp, we just receive the music and we enjoy the crescendo, that part in the winter movement of Vivaldi's Four Seasons, when that piece that I love so much comes. I don't try and grasp it. I just let my heart merge with the music. And I found that instruction very helpful because I most of the time, to be honest, I don't know what James Finley is on about. And there was that saying earlier where he was, somebody wrote this in the chat. Let me find it. It was that he didn't understand, but something in him understood. Something in him understood the words of Thomas Merton. And there's something in me that is understanding the philosophy that he's going on about that I don't understand at all. Me and philosophy makes my brain hurt. Let's hear a little bit more philosophy and wisdom from the very beautiful and very poetic and rather obscure James Finley.
St. Augustine says, "You made our hearts for thee, O Lord, and our hearts are restless till they rest in thee." God made us in such a way that nothing less than an infinite union with the infinity of God will be enough to put to rest the restless longings of our heart. It's a setup. See, it's a setup. So on this earth, it tugs at us, like this longing. Merton once said in the monastery, he said, cloistered monastic life was carefully designed to nurture this. He said, but there's people in the world who are being drawn to this, and they have no one to help them understand what's happening to them and how to cooperate with it this way. And so what happens with some people in the light of this is they get these little touches. You desire to abide in the depths so fleetingly glimpsed. See, Jesus once said, another way that it helps me to say it, what if we close our eyes right now and be interiorly awakened, so that when we opened our eyes, we'd see through our own awakened eyes what Jesus saw and all that he saw. What would we see? We'd see God. Because Jesus saw God in all that he saw. What's stunning about it, when we read,
Jesus what?
Jesus saw God in all that he saw. All that he saw. What's stunning about it?
Meet my children.
Oh, yes, that's exactly right. Well, then that might be the exception. This one person said when I was at school I was at, he said, if you don't believe in original sin, you never raise teenagers. So anyway, Jesus saw God in all that he saw. So what's stunning about it is it didn't matter whether Jesus saw his own mother or a prostitute. It didn't matter whether he saw the joy of those gathered at a wedding or the sorrow of the burial of a loved one. It didn't matter whether he saw his disciples or his executioners or a flower or a bird. Jesus saw God in all that he saw. And then Jesus says in the scriptures, you have eyes to see, but you do not see. There's your God-given capacity to see the God-given godly nature, the immediacy of yourself and of all things, and you don't see it.
To see the immediacy of what?
Of yourself, others, and of all things. The sun going across the sky, the passage of time, the sound of the rain, the smell of a flower, standing up and sitting down. It's of the generosity of God being poured out and given to you as your life in your nothingness with God. And he said, you don't see it. This is the source of all your sorrow. This is the source of all your fear. This is the source of all the traumatizing things you do to yourself, to others, and to the earth. And so the prayer is, Lord, that I might see.
Just the hindering from us experiencing the wonder of
Yeah.
resting in God.
Yeah, how can I be healed
How do I,
from it hinders me from experientially living in this oneness that I know is real because I experienced it in the arms of the beloved, reading a childhood good night story, lying awake at night listening to my breathing, walking quietly to an art museum. It flashed forth and it gave itself to me. St. John of the Cross says, to have no light to guide you except the one that burns in your heart. See? And what burns in your heart is this love that's been quickened in you.
I'm gonna look twice at you. Until I see the Christ in you. I'm gonna look twice at you. Until I see the Christ in you. When I'm looking through the eyes of love, when I'm looking through the eyes of love, when I'm looking through the eyes of love, when I'm looking through the eyes, I'm gonna look twice at you. Until I see the Christ in you. I'm gonna look twice at you. Until I see the Christ in you. See what you guys are saying. You have no love to guide you except for what burns in our heart. Maybe your longing is already your belonging. Yeah, Petra, that one jumped off the screen at me. Maybe we'll go back to those questions at the end of the video. And the answer is deeply personal to each of us, and is, I believe, meant to be accessed and better understood through inner listening and discernment, not by being coerced or by being forced into a particular theology or narrow religious approach that mandates and espouses the very opposite of an individual, always unfolding, bespoke spiritual journey. Wow, Adam. I think that's part 2 to what you said earlier, and I'm reading them in the wrong order. Right, I know we are all here to help ourselves and each other know what to do with the touches of longing and deep peace we each experience. Absolutely, oh my God, yeah. The opposite of madness is merging, but they can feel like one and the same, at least to me. And Audrey writes, it's all a mystery, yet God continues to merge with us. Beautiful. Barbara says, a small red leafed oak that a month ago was a small green leafed oak. It flashed forth love that quickens me. Thank you for spotting that, Barbara. You're the best. Yeah, you and Araya always see the details in the videos that I'm like, will anybody notice this? Hey, I want to go back to the video just...
And what burns in your heart is this love that's been quickened in you.
This is the one that grabs me. And this one. We're going to go into our prayers now for one another, now that our heart has been like nurtured into fullness by the presence of James Finley. We're not even in the same room. We're just watching a video of somebody in the same room as him. One life can really touch many people. And there's a lineage here, a lineage which is something that Christianity doesn't make as much of as I think it should. I can't speak for the Jewish tradition, but I do know that there is that presence. I'm not necessarily upholding a guru model or a bishop's model. I like more of a circle. I like more of a feminine way of being. But our presence, even if we don't say anything, even if we're just sitting in church next to some old lady whose faith is profoundly beautiful, it is given to us in the air, in the prayer. It's really quite mysterious. All right, I'll read the last few comments and then where are we? Like, we're here. Shane says, may we too see God in all that we see. My grandbabies, my pain, my fear, my enemy. Belonging. And Roxanne says, yes, those two strike deeply for me also. They are the two statements. Henry, I know that you're listening on the conference call, and I'm sorry I forgot to read them out. I will text them to you so that you can read them later. All right. Let's pray for one another and the world. Dogs are already praying. I don't have time to read out your prayers, but please do type them into the chat so that we can all uphold each other's prayers. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of Peace to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 la. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the child of peace to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 la. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of Peace to you. The moon and stars pour their healing light on you. La 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 la. Into your heart, O God, we place our heart prayers, not as problems to be solved, but as a focus for your love. Into your heart, O God, we place our heart prayers. Dear ones, thank you so much for your prayers, reading them as they continue to come in. I want to hold reverence for the things that you all share, for really difficult or really beautiful situations. Amen. And just before we move on, the candle decided it was time. Well, maybe we will move on, but as it's relaying itself, I just want to add light and attention and a blessing to the prayers of those people who will watch the replay. Dear ones, I love Visio Divina. I love it because I get to be a participant like you all. I'm in the carriages, I'm not driving the train, and I really love the things that you observe and see in the videos. If you want to watch the whole of that video, click the green button below. That link will be, I think, active until November. What I want to say to you all is I've got a lot of things coming up, and I'm really grateful for these things that I get to do online. I'm so grateful for your presence here today. If you would like to join me leading Chants and Prayers for the Contemplative Summit, that is on Sunday. I think it starts on Thursday. There's a bunch of amazing free videos. There's not very many live events. I'm one of the few live events. If you sign up through my link, if you go on to purchase anything, I get a little dividend. but most people sign up for free because it's a free event. I also have 2 events coming up with Abbey of the Arts. The contemplative worship on the first Monday of each month starts up, and the first one is with Deirdre. We're going to sing her song to close. I Am Here is the name. We're going to sing her song in a minute, but she's an amazing therapist, I think. She lives on Inishmore, one of the islands far off the west coast of Ireland. And we're going to be talking about song and how we both pray with song. So that's on the 6th of October. And also at Samhain at the end of the month, there's a retreat. Thanks to all of you who came to the Equinox retreat. That was quite amazing. And I just bought my ticket yesterday for the Olympic Peninsula. I want to give a big shout out to Jane who made this happen. Thank you, Jane, for getting me the workshop. If you want to come to the workshop, it's on Friday, the 24th of October, all day long at Suquamish Church, followed by Birdsong Vespers, which is open for everybody at 5 p.m. I'll be recorded and I'll share it here on YouTube and on Patreon. There's a Patreon only concert, so if you are one of my paid patrons and you want to come, Ted and Shannon, who are probably here right now, they're opening up their house. Thank you. And email me if you are a paid patron and you'd like to come. They live in Keyport. And then on Sunday the 24th, I will be up in Port Townsend, be part of the worship service, leading the message in the morning for Unity of PT. And then that evening, I will do a concert with Alexa and Amy. I probably will also do some chanting in Port Townsend. So if you're part of this community and you want to come and chant in a house with me, please do, because unfortunately, I'm traveling on Wednesdays. So I'm going to have some pre-recorded chants and prayers. If anybody wants to host a just gathering on Zoom while I'm away, let me know. I know sometimes you all just decide to meet anyway on Zoom, even though there's no actual service. So if you would like to host a Zoom while I'm traveling, please do. Lastly, and this is one I'm actually requesting the prayers of the community. On the 3rd Wednesday of October, I am going for an immigration interview. And I'm nervous. And I really want to come home from that interview for citizenship. And I request your prayers. It is, let me give you the date. It's the morning of October 15th. So there'll be no chants and prayers that day. But I will be praying my socks off. I don't normally pray for myself, but I will be praying for my family and for my well-being and for everybody who is dealing with immigration. All the things that are happening and more. Check out my website. I'm going to stop talking now and sing Deirdre's amazing song, I Am Here, which I heard throughout the videos as I was listening to James Finley. I always interpret what people are saying into chants and songs. And this is one that I heard. Oh, thank you for your prayers. You're already praying. Thank you. I am here waiting for 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 you. I just have to stop the song. Catherine, is October 15th really Teresa of Avila's feast day? Or are you just saying it could be? Let me know if it's the feast day, because if so, then I got nothing to worry about. I am here waiting for you. 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 I am here listening 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 for you. I'm just smiling because Catherine is saying that yes, October 15th is in fact Teresa of Avila's feast day. And I'm here praying with you clearly. I am here praying with you. I am here praying with you. I am here praying with you. I am here hoping for 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 you. I am here singing 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 for you. I remember when I first started Chants and Prayers, and things would go wrong with the technology. And you all would like send me love and prayer through the chat, and I would deeply feel it. I would deeply feel it, and I really want to send that blessing, that peace in the chat of the live stream. Send that out to everybody who's watching the replay, especially if you're frightened this day. May that peace touch your heart and guide you. Closing prayer. And one more huge thank you to this community for just being amazing. You who witnesses our darkest place, let in your light. You who witnesses our greatest fear, let in your peace. You who witnesses our most bitter shame, let in your word of grace. You who witnesses our oldest grudge, let in your forgiveness. And you who witnesses our deepest anger, let it out. You who witnesses our loneliest moment, let in your presence. Lord of the truest self, our all, let in your wholeness. God bless you, dear people, till we meet again. Never give up on me, never let go of me, never forget who I am. Never give up on me, never let go of me, never forget who I am. Never give up on me, never let go of me, never forget who I am. Never give up on me, never let go of me, never forget who I am. I gave long ago. I let go of everything except for the pieces in my hands. Never give up on me, never let go of me, never forget who I am. I am the death that greets you, the womb that held you not long ago. I am always with you, always kindling the light you hold. I am the death that waits you, the womb that held you so long ago. I am always in you, always tending the fire you hold. I gave up long ago.